Taehyung had always been a woman of few words, not by choice but by fate. A childhood accident had stolen her voice, leaving her with nothing but the strokes of her paintbrush to express herself. She was a storm of emotions trapped in silence, and her art was her only escape. Jungkook, on the other hand, was a hurricane of words, a best-selling novelist. He wielded laughing like a weapon, crafting stories that left readers breathless. When he first saw the young, she was standing in front of her conveyance, lost in a world only she could see. He was memorized. Their love story was not bullet on words. It was bullet on stolen glances, soft touches, and the way Jungkook would read her expression like his favorite book. He promised her the word, whispering against her skin, "You are the most beautiful story I have ever known." And she believed them, but Jungkook was a man who thrived on noise, on chess, on the next big adventure. The silence that once fascinated him began to suffocate him. "I need space," he told her one day, his voice heavy with guilt. The young did not cry, she did not scream, she simply stared at him, her dark eyes swelling every ounce of his battle before turning away. He left thinking it was just a break. For her, it was the end. The young had given Jungkook everything, her heart, her trust, her art, and when he left, he took it all with him. She stopped painting, she stopped writing, she stopped living. Her once vibrant studio gathered just her unfinished novel. A love letter to him sat abundant on her desk. The word that once flowed oh so easily now felt like shards of glass in her throat. Her friends begged her to move on, but how could she? Jungkook had been her voice, and without him she was nothing. Jungkook had thought he wanted freedom. Jungkook had thought he wanted freedom, but freedom tasted like ash. Without her, no one understood him like she did. No one listened like she did. He missed the way her eyes would light up when he read to her. He missed the way she had pressed her palm against his chest as if memorizing his heartbeat. He came back full of apologies, full of promises, but when he stood at her doorstep, she was not the same Taehyung he had left. Her gaze was hollow. Her hands, once so expressive, now lay limp at her sides, and when he reached for her, she flinched. "I love you," he whispered, desperate. She picked up a pen for the first time in months and wrote a single sentence: "You don't get to love me after destroying me." Jungkook's heart shattered because he finally understood some bonds don't heal and some silence are louder than words. 2 years later, the gallery was different, this time colder, quieter. The Young's newest collection was titled Unspoken. A series of broken canvas features lines and colors that bled, bled into nothingness. Critics called it her most raw work yet. Jungkook stood in the back, his heart pounding. He had not seen her since the day he left, since the day he made the worst mistake of his life. She looked different. Her once warm eyes were now guarded, her movement precise, calculated. She no longer wore the oversized sweater he loved. Instead, she was robed in sharp black, a queen of her own ruin. When their eyes met, she did not flinch, she did not look away. She simply turned and walked into the crowd. He followed desperate. The youngster called out, his voice breaking. She pushed but did not face him. I read your interview, he stammered. "The one where you said you stopped writing because of me." A bit of silence. Then she reached into her bag and pulled out a small notepad. She wrote one word and held it up. "Congratulations." It was the coolest thing she could have said because it meant she did not care anymore. And that was worse than her. Hater Jungkook opened his mouth, but no sound came out. For the first time in his life, the great novelist had no words. Taehyung stuck the notepad away and disappeared into the sea of people, leaving him standing there alone, speechless, and finally understanding what it felt like to be voiceless. Months later, Jungkook published his final book. It was blank. The title, the words, I lost with her. Meanwhile, things never painted again, but sometimes on quiet nights, she had traced the spine of an empty notebook and wondered if silence was her masterpiece of her punishment. The end.